Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show, and I am very excited about the Summer Solstice Flute Festival, and I am so very happy to have some of the representatives here. Brent Haynes is here with Wood Sounds Flutes. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
And with him, it's Rana Yellow Robe.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank
I know
you.
I was going to say that wrong. Welcome. It's great to have you here.
Much.
I'm more concerned about the Yellow Robe part.
That's good. No, you handled it really well.
Indeed.
Good job.
Thrilled to have you guys here. You know, we had a little bit of a chance, or I did, to come over and be part of the drum circle just the other night, and saw these flutes and a couple people playing, and I'm like, wow. The sound, you talk about wood sounds.
Yeah.
This is like, it seems like the sounds of nature, you know, being out in nature.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's amazing. The flute is, in this day that we live in today, where people are working at their computers all the time, and you know, we don't see the outdoors so much. Things that can connect us back to things of nature. Now here in Park City, it's beautiful,
Pretty
right?
easy to be in
Everything's
nature
beautiful,
here, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But even still, you can get locked indoors, and so having something that can allow you to connect back and to get centered and rooted is really powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, it almost, and I mean, it's going to sound a little colorful, but honestly, it seems like the sound that you hear of the wind through the trees to me. I mean, there's just the sort of whistling, kind of beautiful, and it always seems to be sort of carefree and not really. I know there's notes, and I know that there's a pattern, but it almost seems as if there's none. It just seems to be what it should be.
Yeah.
Quite amazing.
It is beautiful. Yeah.
Talk to me about what you know, a little bit about your heritage and why the flute for you.
Well, I am from the Cree Nation of the Chippewa Cree tribe of Rocky Boy, Montana. My family comes from Saskatchewan, Canada. My father is Grove Assiniboine from Fort Peck, Montana, born and raised in Havre. And so a lot of the culture, especially with my mother being part of the Indian mission schools, that were taken away. And so for me, what I did is I went looking for how do I make that connection. And even though like I was fortunate enough to have a grandmother, her name was Mary Buffalo Chapakin, and she taught me the ways. So as I was out exploring, you know, looking for where I come from, I was very fortunate to be able to fall back on that. And then I grew up hearing the Native American flute, except for I remember one day my friend was like, "Hey, listen to this music." And it was our Carlos Nakai, but we didn't know how to say his name, and I think we were saying Naki or you know, something, and we were, and I remember just hearing it in that moment. I heard that flute. The desire was placed in my heart, and I knew that I was supposed to make people feel the way that I was feeling in that moment, and then it was like 2 years later when my father and I were in Spanaway, and there was an Indian trading post, and an elderly native who was paraplegic owned the store, and we were just walking through, and as he was visiting with me, and we were walking through, and we came across this flute, and it was Christmas time, and so my dad bought it for me, and that was where my journey began. I had no clue as to how to play the instrument.
Wow.
I knew that you had to cover the holes, and
Right.
I just began to teach myself how to play. And then when I went to the point where I couldn't teach myself, I knew I hit that wall, I started exploring what else is out there. And that's when I came across the festivals, the flute festivals,
Right.
that there was other people like myself who love this instrument and love the feeling that, you know, the same feeling, love making other people feel good, and it also gave us the ability to express through music. So yeah, and it also gave me a way to be able to lock into my native culture, to be able to do ceremony, because I play traditional song as well as I play contemporary today.
And you're a healer as well.
Well, I think everybody is.
I
but
would agree with that.
Yeah, I think that you know, my life.
Music heals in the first place.
And it does, because I do work with hospice, and I do work with people who are sick. I like going into, you know, hospitals and, you know, and playing for people. You know, except when I think about healer, I think that it's just been an organic process, and that I'm kind of careful with that, because I do a lot of spirit work I guess I'm just kind of careful with the healer aspect of it, and I know that I have done that, but
Well, it's a special side.
it is, yeah.
It's the way I like to look at that. You and I both have a common friend, Juanita, who
Yes.
certainly she's a medicine woman and is amazing.
She is.
I've had her here in the program, and I've felt so much better after her appearances. But I have to tell you, I felt better just after being over in the drum circle the other day. I mentioned this to I had a friend with me at the drum circle, and we were touching the top of the drum without playing it. Everybody else is playing, and the drum is vibrating. And I was thinking about that and how I was feeling, and there's little doubt in my mind that the vibration with me was doing something very healing. That's an amazing part of it. I think the sound of the flute does very much the same thing. So let's turn our attention just for a moment to Brent with regard to that. You have been making flutes for how long now?
It's been 15 years now. I've been doing this full time, and it isn't what I expected to do with my life, but I got to tell you, it's been incredibly rewarding.
What were you planning on being? What were you going to do?
I graduated from the University of Utah with a chemical engineering degree, and you know, the next most logical step seemed to be a flute maker. So
I think so too. All that work in engineering to make flutes, that's what it takes to make a great flute. Talk to me about your flutes. What makes them so special?
When I approached the flute, and I had a similar sort of story where I heard the flute and I fell in love with the sound. And I've got no native heritage at all. My mom's a genealogist and has done all that research and looked.
Couldn't find anything
there's
for you.
Nothing. No,
I got a little
not
bit.
even a cousin.
I got a couple of grandmas.
And so, but I fell in love with the sound, and the sound for me, it reached in and it touched something very deep. And a lot of people, I'll see this, where it really touches them. And so when I heard the flute, I heard it once in college and made a flute, and then a few years later I made another one, and really was just trying to get a guy to buy me a bandsaw. And I made him a couple of flutes, and he bought me a bandsaw, and I got hooked on making them. And so that was 15 years ago. My daughter, who is 15 years old, Madison, is never had a dad that's done anything but be a flute maker.
Wow.
It's amazing, So the instruments themselves, we do a variety of things. This is what we call a Grenadillo Classic. And it's in a key of low C. It's a fairly large flute. They come in all different sizes. You can get them, I've got flutes that are almost 50 inches long. There's flutes that are little itty bitty things, and just all varieties of sizes.
Wow.
And just depending on what you're looking to do with it.
That's great.
And but this is a really fabulous size. I've used this, actually not this particular flute because we just finished this yesterday. But I've used a flute just like this in hospice situations myself.
Wow.
And it's really powerful. It was actually for my mother, and so it was a really awesome
there you go.
experience.
There's a lot of spirit in that one.
Yeah, it was really awesome.
All right, and then the other flute you have a little smaller.
This is a what I call Mother Earth. It's one of my Flute of the Month flutes. We'll do 10 of these, and the idea behind this is you have this mother bear here. It looks like the earth, representing Mother Earth, and on each side of the flute there's a little baby bear. The one that's following behind is looking up, going, "Hey, mom, hey, wait for me." And the one on the other side that's out in front has got its nose down, doing its own thing. Yep, exactly. And if you look at the bear tracks going up the flute, the mama's bears are just going straight down the flute, nice and steady, even. Well, the baby's bears are going all over the place, back and forth, and crazy. And so,
wow, I love it.
Yeah, this is made out of Pacific yew wood.
That is just
Isn't it stunning?
Absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
How many hours go into this?
I don't know.
I can't even imagine. Do you have it?
I started that flute. I don't know. A few weeks ago. We do things. We get pretty focused.
I bet you do. This is impressive.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, we have just a few minutes, and I want to hear you guys play. So we should do that.
Okay.
So
which one do you want to play?
Do you want me to play the buffalo?
Yeah.
I'll play the buffalo because it's my
great.
grandmother's last name.
Oh, great. All right. I'm going to grab the mic here. Go ahead.
So do I stand up there?
Yeah, absolutely. Here, I'm going to bring this to you.
Okay.
That is incredible. All right. I don't know how you're
amazing.
following that, but good luck.
I know, right? Yeah, Rana's the best. She's amazing.
Wow. I got to say, I felt like we had a little bit of a bird in the room here
Yeah.
for a minute. That was just amazing. So much difference in the technique and the sounds.
And that's really important with the instrument itself. You know, this was originally created as a courting for tribal people, right, and for the man to court the woman, and so it's the fact that we bring it into our time now, that our encouragement within the school is to be able to let people to find their own voice. You know, that we don't have to sound like anybody else, but we're bringing our spirit, our breath, and we bring it into song.
Wow.
And that's really the beauty behind, you know, and a lot of people that come and think that they can't play an instrument, right? And that we give that ability, we give them the ability to do that. We show them how to do it and to the sounds that Brent was making. And
You start to teach.
yeah,
which
and it's
is
beautiful because there's such a connection, you know, music connects, you know, so.
And well, the Native American heritage has always been about the teaching part too, which makes great sense, and so it's just impressive. But
Yeah.
this is part of a much larger event, the Summer Solstice Flute Festival. As I mentioned, there was a drum circle the other night. There has been drum making, flute playing. Talk to me about what's happening over the next couple of days.
I'll go ahead and let you, since this is the.
It's going to be so much fun. So tonight, if you're looking for something to do tonight, tonight's the night to go to the Homestead Resort, and the teachers that have been teaching this last over the last week will be performing tonight, and it's going to be amazing. You've got four of the best performers in the country that are playing tonight, and so that's available. I think it's only like $20. It's extremely
Well
reasonable.
worth it.
Oh yeah, very much.
And I
so.
think aren't we feeding people too with that?
I think so. I know that Nancy's done that before in the past.
Wow.
Yeah, Nancy Haga is the one that runs the flute school.
Yeah, she's our director.
And yeah, she
She's a
does
great
just
job.
an awesome job.
And what a great spot. The homestead is about as close to Mother Earth
It's
as we're going to
beautiful.
get,
Yeah.
because that crater goes down all the
Right.
way to the center.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's
Yeah,
incredible.
There's definitely a spirit there.
Yeah, I'll say.
We really feel like we've found our home. The first flute festival we had here, the Summer Solstice Flute Festival we had, was out at New Park back in 2012. And so on Friday and on Saturday, people can come in, and there's no cost. There's vendors. There's going to be music on stage, live music all day long. Rana will be playing, Suzanne Tang.
Yeah, I listened to Suzanne the other night. Oh my goodness,
She's
she's
wonderful,
amazing
right?
at
Yeah.
everything she does.
Yeah.
She just goes and climbs onto a drum and starts to play, and then she grabs a flute, plays.
yeah.
Yeah, she's
Amazing
really beautiful.
stuff.
Yeah, Joe Young will be there, and
Wow.
Kalani.
And Kalani,
Yeah.
and then tonight, Arvo Bird is there tonight. He will not be here during the week.
So you see him tonight.
Yeah, so if you want to see Arvo Bird, you got to come tonight.
Yeah.
And then on Saturday night, we've got Cody Blackbird playing, and then
my.
Robert Mirabal playing. And
Yeah.
so these are, Robert.
Cody Blackbird, one of the best out there. And
Yeah, he's fabulous. And
Oh, my
Robert
goodness.
is a multi-Grammy winner, and so it's going to be an incredible performance.
I want to thank you both so very much for being here and sharing your not only your wonderful instruments, but your spirit as well.
No,
thank
thank
you
you.
so very much.
Thanks
Thank
for the
you so
opportunity.
much.
Really
Yeah.
appreciate
It
it.
was just terrific. To make sure you get out to the Summer Solstice Flute Festival. Again, it is right over in Midway at the Homestead. Again, all this week and into the weekend. It's going to be a tremendous time, and you do not want to miss it. We've got a lot more coming up here in the Mountain Morning Show. We'll be right back.